What's up, guys? Today we're going to take some time to study and learn about the human impacts. And so we will go through this information. So, in today's modern world, human activity will directly impact the environment. This leads to various problems happening with our ecosystems and biodiversity. These are just a few of the problems or examples of problems that we will see in terms of um, problems in our ecosystems. So things like deforestation, pollution, building dams is a major issue, invasive species, the overuse of fertilizers, and overfishing or overhunting. Deforestation leads to resource loss. So we are taking out trees from the environment. Animals are being displaced, and there are environmental pressures leading to competition amongst many populations, such as for space or food, and larger predators lose prey species. Loss of large trees also contributes to climate change, as trees remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and fix it into sugars. Therefore, cutting down trees reduces the rate that carbon dioxide is removed from the environment. The photos below show a Bolivian forest in 1975 versus 2003. In many countries in South and Central America, deforestation is conducted to build farms, which also output more CO2 into the atmosphere than necessary. Deforestation can be deliberate, like cutting land, or accidental, like forest fires. Um, but many forest fires are actually a consequence of climate change accelerated by human activity. So you can see this graphic of types of fire experienced and the damage caused by those fires experienced, as well as the millions of area burned in acres. Fossil fuels are forms of combustible energy found in natural gas, coal, and oil, and they are drilled or mined from the earth. When fossil fuels are burned, as we know from the carbon cycle, they're released as carbon dioxide, which is a greenhouse gas. And that carbon dioxide gets trapped in the atmosphere and will end up contributing to global warming. This is the atmospheric carbon dioxide amounts, along with the emissions from 1950 all the way through 2001. This is all done by NOAA, or the Ocean and Atmospheric Organization. And you can see this drastic increase in recent years. Building dams, another way human impacts affect the environment. And so dams are built to reserve waters for homes or to generate electricity. Think the Hoover Dam, which is in this picture. Dams actually will end up decreasing the rate of natural flow of water, however, which is not a great thing. Reducing the flow rate of rivers can have major consequences, including the loss of aquatic species, the erosion of coastal deltas, and the disappearance of species within floodplains, which is a major loss of biodiversity, especially in like birds and small aquatic organisms. Deltas are landforms created by the sediment carried from rivers, which are incredibly fertile and incredibly biodiverse. They're home to some of mankind's earliest civilizations, if you think in the Mediterranean. So dams actually will retain that sediment, which is needed to replenish coastal deltas. And that lack of sediment will lead to the depletion of nutrients for aquatic life and actually increase the rate of delta erosion, which is really becoming a problem in Florida. Invasive species, you've probably heard this term before, are species found in non-native ecosystems, are often brought on cargo ships from other countries by accident. Sometimes they're exotic pets that found their way into the wild. So climate change may also allow certain species to find a new home that was previously too cold for them to thrive. Some examples are Burmese pythons, iguanas, zebra mussels, or the Asian longhaired beetle.
Deep in the Florida Everglades, a truck inches along a lone road. The hunt is on for Burmese pythons. Donna Khalil, eyes now locked on a snake. You may not see it, but she does. Then she pounces.
Hold on. Whoa, all right, we got him. Awesome work. Woohoo!
Biologists believe someone released their pet pythons into the Everglades in the late 1970s. They multiplied and multiplied again. They've become a serious threat to Florida's fragile ecosystem.
You can go to Everglades National Park and be hard-pressed to find a single mammal there, a single squirrel, a single rabbit, fox, deer. The pythons have just been taking out everything that they can get their mouths around.
They've even started to eat the king of the Everglades, alligators. In less than 2 years, trappers have captured more than 2,000 pythons. But studies suggest the snakes are adapting rapidly and could move further north into colder climates.
How powerful is he right now?
Almost got me in the face. Woo, just missed my nose by a fraction.
For every snake captured and killed, the state pays based on size. This payday, about $225.
At almost 10 feet long, how old would you estimate this snake is?
This thing can only be about 3 years old,
And it's this big
and it's this big. And
because it's eating a lot out here.
yeah,
A female can lay up to 100 eggs a season. With only 50 full-time hunters out here, catching at best 5 pythons on a good day, the snakes are winning.
What draws you?
well, I love the environment. These Burmese pythons don't belong here in this environment. They need to go.
On this day, one down, as many as 300,000 more to go. Kerry Sanders, NBC News, the Florida Everglades.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our.
And that's just one example of how our invasive species are impacting our ecosystems in the United States.
Deep in the
We also have overexploitation, which is disrupting the balance of ecosystems when resources or species are harvested faster than they reproduce. It often leads to extinction. Thinking about overhunting of rhinos or bison, unsustainable logging, overfishing large predatory fishes, or unregulated pet trade, we've seen a lot of amphibians and reptiles leaving the environment. An example, or a really important example of overexploitation, is actually overfishing, which leads to loss of biodiversity and low population numbers in our world's oceans. And our fishing industries have become much more efficient, leading to the loss of biodiversity. And it's estimated that 34 of the fish stocks, or the fish species that are most found in markets, are overexploited or overused. We know that the bluefin tuna are on the track to become endangered because they grow rather slowly. They are slow to mature, which means they're slow to reproduce, and they are rather overfished or harvested faster than they can replace themselves. That being said, there are regulations being put into place to help make fishing more sustainable. And this is just a year-to-year overfishing of Atlantic Northwest cod, the Canadian populations versus other countries, which are presumably the United States, maybe some European countries. So what could we deduce about the cod populations from this graph? You should specifically see that major drop around 1970, in addition to the even larger drop in both sets of data in 1990, and it really plateaus out at the end.